Hello, this is Sarita, and I'm here to help you understand the truth about who you are. So what I wanted to share with you today was a meditation technique which is going to allow you to come back to the basics of meditation. And what I'm going to share with you is going to be really helpful if you are a beginner in meditation, but also it's still going to be helpful if you are an advanced meditator, because the basics of meditation, the foundations, if you like, of meditation are really intrinsic no matter what level of meditation you are at. And I think that even if you are very advanced, sometimes you can lose this groundwork, and therefore, in a way, you can lose the potentially potent and profound experiences that advanced meditation can bring, because all practices, if you like, need their foundations. They need their foundations to be strong. And I'm aware that a lot of the meditations on my channel can appear very complicated if you are a beginner to meditation. So therefore, what I'm about to share with you, and I'm going to do some more videos over the next few weeks, bringing us back to the foundations of meditation, the basics of meditation, are going to be equally helpful if you're a beginner and or if you're an advanced or intermediate meditator. And so what I'm going to be discussing in today's meditation is the foundation of focus and breath. And I'm going to talk about focus first, because basically for all of us, focus is absolutely fundamental for happiness. And it's fundamental if you want to become a very good conscious creator of your reality. Because I think what happens in this reality that plays out is that we have lost that foundation of being able to focus our minds. And there have been a lot of studies on focus. And basically what all of the studies say is that those who can focus their minds are generally happier. And that is because those that can focus their minds consciously are not at the whim and mercy of conditioning and programs which on the whole are detrimental to our well-being. So think about it, we are being constantly flooded by information. And remember, you are literally just a packet of quantum information. And we've got all of this information coming at us. It's information and instruction from our families, our parents as we're growing up, our teachers, our institutions, the systems that govern us, television, media, games, these little square boxes that you're looking at me through right now. They are like flooding us with information all of the time. And we are also being flooded by collective information because we are a collective species. So there's a lot of information coming up at us all of the time. And if you want to have an extraordinary life, if you want to have a life that serves you best, if you want to have a life where you are the creator of your own reality in every now moment, you need to be able to if you like, unhook yourself from all of this bombardment of information. You need to be so focused in your state of being, what you are putting your awareness onto, that it will not be distracted or diluted by any of the other plethora of information that is out there. And a lot of that information is deliberately designed to program us. Do you know what I mean? Some of it isn't, but a lot of it is deliberate. So if you want to have a happy, healthy life, if you choose, for example, if you choose the idea that you wish to be healthy, you've got to be focused in that and not subject to the whims and the distractions of everything around you that may be conditioning you to believe otherwise, whether that's conscious or unconscious programs and conditions. And so the first step in being able to focus your mind is to be able to focus it consciously in meditation. And so focusing the mind is just the absolute first step. We cannot create something new until we can focus upon the here and now, basically. And it's really important to understand that until we can become totally present, we're never going to be able to create something new, because it's only by being present that you can create from originality, because otherwise we are always creating from our past conditions and experiences, or if you like, that bombardment of information that is constantly coming at us. But if we can let all of that go and focus in the absolute here and now of the present moment, then we are not being influenced by anything else, and we are then choosing what we are going to create. And this is a lot harder than it seems. You know, I am a hardcore meditator. I've been doing hardcore meditation for, 7 years now. And if I can focus without distraction for 8 minutes, I feel like a champion. It's extraordinary how much gobbledygook and thoughts and feelings and images and ideas and past and all of that kind of stuff that is floating through our consciousness all of the time. And so I really feel that focus is one of the absolute fundamental foundations of any meditation practice, and in fact being happy. So what I'm going to share with you is a very basic meditation where I'm going to ask you to focus on 3 different areas. One of the areas will be a point just in front of you, about 6 inches in front of you here. And then the next point will be in your pineal gland. And then the third point will be in the middle of your heart center, or in your actual heart, your choice, okay? And the reason I'm going to get you to focus on these 3 areas just for a few minutes is so that you can perceive how it feels when you're focusing upon different spaces within your reality, remembering that the whole of reality is within you. So there is if you like, a sensory input that you're going to get as you focus in different areas within your being, okay? And what we're going to do is we're just going to witness what it's like to try and focus our minds just for a few minutes within these different areas. And what I mean by witnessing is what's going to happen is I'm going to get you first to concentrate on this area in front of you. Okay, so you're going to close your eyes, you're going to relax your body, and you're going to begin to focus on this point in front of you. And as you focus upon that point, what's going to happen is loads of thoughts are going to come up, loads of sensations are going to come up. Maybe your body's going to start to feel uncomfortable. All of these different things are going to come up. And what the practice is to notice that you have been distracted from this focal point, and then to come back to the focal point again. And what happens when you are a new meditator or you're not very good at focusing is that as you become distracted by, let's say, a thought, oh gosh, I wonder if I remembered to feed the cat today or something, you know, whatever the thought is that's coming in, what's going to happen is thoughts are just so powerful that they're going to take you down this rabbit hole. So it's going to be, oh, I wondered what, you know, did I feed the cat today? Oh gosh, you know, and then your brain is going to start going off into different things. And eventually you're going to notice that your mind has wandered. And then you're going to go off down the, oh no, I can't believe my mind has wandered. Really? Am I having that thought again? Good Lord, I must remember to come back to the focal point. And basically there are these whole rabbit runs of thoughts that kind of suck you in. It's just extraordinary when you start to do this kind of practice. So the idea is to notice that you've become distracted, and instead of going down the rabbit run, not to attach any more thoughts or ideas or emotions to it, you know, guilt or I'm not good enough because my brain went off, whatever those things are, to have no attachment to the awareness that you've realized that you've become distracted, but to just come back to the practice, to the focus. So you're focusing, a thought comes in, or an uncomfortable situation, you know, an itchy toe, or your back's hurting because you're sitting up straight. Notice, come back to the meditation without adding to those thoughts in any way. And basically the thoughts are coming from your ego. They're coming from, you know, your analytical mind, and also your ego is going to throw up uncomfortable sensations in your body, because your ego doesn't really want you to focus. Your ego wants you to just think thoughts, which on the whole are survival-based thoughts. So they tend to be stress-related thoughts, stressful in some way, whether that's emotive stress or intellectual stress or physical stress. So your ego is very clever in distracting you from your own beingness, if you like. So what we're really going to do here is we're going to practice witnessing and focusing at the same time. So you're witnessing that your mind's wandered or you're uncomfortable or whatever's going on, and then you just come back to the task in hand. And we're literally going to focus on this focal point for 2 minutes and then sit and then witness what happened with us. And then we're going to move, we're going to do it again in another round just to hone that in. And then we're going to try focusing on the pineal gland. Okay, and again, when your thoughts wander, you're going to come back to it. We're going to do that a couple of times, witnessing how we feel, and then in the heart center or in the actual heart. And this really is an exercise in self-awareness. And as I said, it's fundamental. Before you can go off and do manifesting or healing your body, or moving off into the quantum field, or connecting with your higher self, or channeling messages from source consciousness, you've got to be able to focus, because otherwise everything that's happening to you is happening within your egoic construct. It's the identification of self. And it's only through focus that you can lose your identification of self, merge with the void, source consciousness, and then see the truth of who you are, which is a fractal expression of source consciousness. So this kind of meditation technique it's fascinating. You know, I did it with my advanced group of meditators. They're all like, yeah, let's do focusing. And we all realized very quickly, you know, where we've got to in our practice, where it's gone down a bit, you know, where our focus is honed in a bit more. Is it easier for us to focus within the heart or not? So we're all witnessing ourselves. And remember, an evolution of consciousness is all about, and only about really, becoming self-aware. So focusing is teaching you about yourself. It's evolving you, okay? So that's the very first thing we are going to do today. And then the second part of the back to basics is we're going to bring our awareness to breath, okay? So we're going to do all of that, what I said, focusing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to breathe into those 3 focal points, okay? So we're going to breathe into a point in front of our heads, breathe into our pineal glands, and then breathe into our heart center or our actual heart. So breath, my goodness me, such an extraordinary foundation for meditation and having a happy life. Breath is what gives you life, and breath is what connects you intrinsically to source consciousness. Breath is what allows you to become manifest in this reality. And breath, the more you work with breath, the more you understand it's an absolutely extraordinary tool, because breath can expand your consciousness. Breath can heal you. Breath can take you through portals such as those within your energy centers or within your cells. Breath is the road through the 0 point. You know, there's just kind of no limit to what breath is really. And it seems like such a subtle thing and such a simple thing. And it is, but it also is massively complex. And we all tend to breathe unconsciously. You know, it's just one of those things that is set up. We breathe, we live. Do you know what I mean? But the minute breath is what brings us into this 3rd dimensional reality, and breath is what takes us out. You stop breathing, you die, you take your first breath moments after you are born. So breath is your conscious connection to, or unconscious connection for many of us. It's our connection to the all that is. And when you learn to, again, witness and feel into and take your consciousness into and travel with the breath, it's like a doorway in and of itself into source consciousness. So just focusing on the breath can give you transcendental moments. It can take you through your pineal gland. It can instantaneously heal your body. There's just literally no limits to what breath can do. So I often do meditations where as you breathe in, you feel the breath coming from source consciousness into your body. And then as you breathe out, you're breathing out breath back to source consciousness. And it is the connection. It's the within and the without. It's the path, if you like, between them. It's the road you take for self-discovery. So again, we're going to just be breathing into those three focal points. And what I mean by that is, imagine the focal point just in front of you. You're literally going to imagine that you're breathing into that focal point and breathing out of it. Really, really simple. It may manifest for you in a slightly different way. And I always say to all of my students, remember that you are a sovereign being. So I'm guiding you, I'm making suggestions to help you. But if you instinctively feel like doing something a slightly different way, then always follow your sovereign intuition, because it will serve you much better than following mine. Mine's going to serve me, yours is going to serve you. So what we're going to do in this is you're just going to breathe into those focal points. So one is in the space in front of you, then you're going to breathe into your pineal gland, and then you're going to breathe into your heart center or your heart. And you're going to feel the relationship between breath and these focal points in space. And again, remembering that all of that is within you. So this is a real back to basics, but as back to basics, it's also the real road to self-awareness, because I do these, what you would consider, very advanced, often complicated, geometric, cosmic meditations that align you to earth energy and different consciousnesses and ceremonies and all of that kind of stuff. But actually you could just sit with focus and the breath and become enlightened that way. You don't need to follow the guided meditations and learn all of the geometry and the energy centers. That's fascinating, and I love working with all of that stuff so much, but really you could learn as much just through focus and the breath, which is why I'm sharing these back to basics with you. So I'm going to do some other back to basics as the weeks go on, but this really is the beginning one. So I'm also not even going to put music to this. I'm just going to let you absolutely focus on focus and focus on the breath. So I hope that you enjoy this experience, whether you're a new meditator or whether you are a very advanced or practiced meditator. It's going to serve you. So without further ado, if you're new to meditation, I'm going to suggest, as always, that you sit up for the meditation. And that's primarily as a new meditator so that you don't fall asleep, because as your brainwaves begin to slow down, what happens is that those slower brainwave states like alpha and delta brainwave states, theta, we normally associate with sleeping. So what you're trying to do with meditation is you're trying to access those slower brainwave states, but without falling asleep. So if you sit up, if you're a new meditator, it's going to help you to stop falling asleep as you go into those deeper brainwave states. You're sitting up. It's also good to have your spine straight, because it just allows all the breath to flow properly and it allows you to focus. Okay, so you're going to sit up for this meditation, and then I always advise my meditators to take a big breath in and out, and then you're literally letting go of the conversation, everything I've said. So you're releasing all of that, and then I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And what I want you to do is I want you to bring your awareness to a point in front of your eyes, about 6 inches away from your head. So you're not trying to create a point, you're just trying to find a focal point, if you like. So you're finding this focal point in front of your eyes. And what you're going to try and do now is to keep your attention upon this focal point and just notice as thoughts or sensations arise. So if you see a thought arising, the work is to notice that a thought has arisen, and then very calmly, without any attachment to that thought about whether you've done something wrong, you're just going to bring your attention back to the focal point. And similarly, if you get an itch or an irritation in your body, or you hear a noise, the idea is that you notice that you've been distracted, and without any judgment, you bring yourself back to the focal point. So we're going to do this for a few minutes. Off you go. And now pausing and just notice how you feel without any judgment. So you're witnessing yourself, witnessing any changes that these few minutes have brought to your being, to your mind, to your emotions. And we're going to do this once again. So focusing on this point. You're not really seeing the point, you're just bringing your awareness to this place in front of you. And again, you're just noticing if your mind wanders, if sensations arise, and you're letting them go and bringing yourself back to the focal point without any judgment. Off you go. And pausing, and again witness how you are for a second or two. What changes have arisen due to this few minutes of practice? And now what you're going to do is you're going to change the focal point. So you're going to bring the focal point to your pineal gland in your head. And if you're unsure of where your pineal gland is, you're just going to let your being, if you like, take you there, your intuition. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong. So just find your pineal gland in your head. This is now your new focal point. You're not necessarily trying to see the shape of the pineal gland. You're just focusing on the point in space within your head where it is. And we're going to repeat the same exercise. So you're bringing all of your attention to this point in space. And just noticing when you become distracted by thoughts or feelings or sensations. And then bring yourself back to that focal point. Off you go. And relax and just witness where you are. Noticing how you feel without any judgment. And now again, we're going to spend a few minutes focusing on the pineal gland. Off you go. and relax and witness. Now we are going to change our focus for the last time. So you're going to bring your focus either into the center of your heart or into the center of your heart center. So either into the energy center or your heart, whatever is your preference. And again, we're going to do a few minutes of focusing here and just noticing when our mind wanders or sensations come up and letting them go, coming back to the task. Off you go. And pause and witness how you feel. Being the observer of your own being. And now one more time, we're going to focus on that point in our heart or heart centers. Off you go. And pausing and witness. Seeing if you can observe how you feel now compared to how you were feeling before you began. Coming into a heightened awareness. And what we're going to do now is we're going to bring our awareness back to the original focal point just in front of our eyes. We're now going to breathe into this focal point. It's like you're breathing from that point, breathing in and out of that focal point. Just breathing in and out as if the breath was originating from this focal point. I'm going to do this for a couple of minutes. And again, if you notice that your attention is wandering or uncomfortable sensations are arising, or positive ones, you're going to notice and then bring yourself back to the breath. So breathing in and out of this focal point, off you go. And pausing. And again, witnessing how you are, what happened there. No judgment. And bringing your awareness now to your pineal gland focus point. And again, we are going to breathe in and out of this focal point so that there is nothing but the breath and our focus. And if our mind wanders or sensations arise, we notice and come back to the task in hand. Off you go. And pausing and witnessing your state of being. And now dropping your awareness to a focal point in your heart or heart energy center. And again, we're going to breathe into this focal point, allowing everything that is not the breath or the focus to melt away. But if it arises, just noticing and coming back to the task in hand. Off you go. and pausing. And again, witnessing your state of being. And then when you're ready, you're going to find your way back into the room and open your eyes.